everybody. I'm the Ranting Monkey, and with me, as always, is Scribe. Say hi, Scribe.
Hi, Scribe.
Also with us is the lovely SDA. Say hello.
Hello.
Together we make the Lords of the Night. Hope everybody's well tonight. We actually have news tonight. But before we get to that, and I saved this because I want your live reaction. Monkey's an idiot, and you're going to get to see how. Weebo Jones is joining us tonight. Do you guys remember how I told you she works, or she's with the police thing until 9?
Yeah.
Guess what Monkey forgot to do?
What?
I forgot to make sure that me and her are in the same time zone.
Oh, what'd you...
She's an hour behind us. She will join us shortly after 10. I apologize for that. That's entirely my fuck up. And that's what you guys get for letting the forgetful monkey do shit. No, I've made this time zone mistake way too many times. I apologize, guys. On my next guest night, I will make sure I do that. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys.
For shame. For shame.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. You guys work with me. You know I'm an idiot. I do stupid shit. That's.
I don't know, like pushing a baby around, all day and get yourself all sore.
But yeah, she will be here. That's entirely my fault. I forgot to. I was talking to her last night, and she just happened to mention she was an hour behind. I'm like, oh, well, does that mean 9 your time or my time? She went 9 my time. I'm like, oh, fuck me. So yeah, she'll be an hour late here. Sorry about that, guys.
Okay.
Orange juice.
OJ, I want my vitamin C for crime.
Watch out, white women.
And if you notice Sanguine in the chat, eventually let me know, and then I'll read his carryover ad that I wrote for last night.
Oh, right.
Yeah, if you're friends with a white woman, make absolutely sure that you don't have to drop off glasses at her house if she has an angry black boyfriend.
Oh man.
Just a word to the wise.
Also, Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, and if you have not already, please hit the like button. And if you want to, fund some research to help with Monkey's memory, like, to try to cure his brain issues, there's a little $sign underneath the chat window that you can throw money at him to help his memory.
Don't lie to them about where the money's going. It's going towards vaping.
It's going towards baby. There's another one on the way, so
Yeah, I'm gonna have to YouTube constantly to maintain my spoiling addiction.
Well, sooner or later you're gonna have 2 small people crawling all over you every day.
Yes.
So
and that's okay.
Yeah, send some money because Monkey's going to be in traction in about 10 months. But that aside, so is everybody ready for a societal dose of vitamin C because the juice is loose?
I didn't get to. I was on my phone outside all day with. Thank you, Kagam Mandoa. That's better go to midget hookers. I'm with you on that. I am with you as long as it's female midget hookers. Thank you so much for the donation. But anyway, I was watching this on my phone, and I think it was TMZ kept just blowing up my damn phone. I have their app, and they just kept blowing it up. And the last one before the juice is loose was OJ's parole hearing not going very well.
That was the actual headline, like verbatim?
Yeah. At least the OJ's parole hearing isn't going. It wasn't going very well. Let me see if I still have it on here. But yeah, it actually said, it's not going very well. Like I think it must have went pretty well.
Yeah, I think everything's okay in his world, I guess.
Oh.
If you ever want to see one of the funniest commentaries in regards to his original sentencing for this particular instance, just go on YouTube and look up O.J. Simpson, a Stern response, and there should be 2 parts to the Howard Stern bit where they covered the news of his sentencing. It cracks me up every time. It's when Artie was still with the show. Oh, it's so hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely hilarious. But anyway, for those of you who are too young to understand who O.J. Simpson is, well, you're just missing out. What can I tell you? But here's the story as it stands right now. And this comes from CNN. And what's CNN's headline? It's not so much that he got parole. It is, here's how much O.J. Simpson stands to make in retirement.
Well, he'll lose a lot of it, right?
Nope. And that's kind of the screwy thing. But here we go. When O.J. Simpson gets out of prison, he'll have far more financial resources awaiting him than most ex-convicts. Simpson was granted parole on Thursday and is set to be released from prison October 1st. Beyond any money he can make from selling autographs or other memorabilia, Simpson, who is 70, will probably have significant retirement income. Simpson reportedly has $5 million in contributions to a retirement plan run by the Screen Actors Guild. The exact amount of money now in the account is known only to Simpson and his financial advisors. And of course, there's his football career, which affords him an NFL pension. The NFL won't say how much he'll get, and it's hard to estimate without knowing some key details, such as when he decided to start collecting benefits. But according to the NFL benefits formula, he could receive as much as $100,680 a year if he waited until age 65 to start drawing his pension. Ex-players have the option of receiving benefits as young as 45 or can start at 55, but financial advisors say it pays to wait till 65. So Simpson could have amassed more than $500,000 in NFL pension benefits while in prison if he waited until 65. If he started at age 55, he would have accumulated $566,000 in benefits up until now, but he'd only get about $47,000 a year going forward. Simpson lost a $33.5 million civil judgment to the families of Ronald Goldman and his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson after he was tried and acquitted for their murders. Most of that money has never been collected. Right. Yeah, he's never paid on the judgment against him.
Isn't he paid like about $300,000?
Something minuscule in relation to things. But the fun part is that retirement income is protected from that judgment under federal law.
Oh. Yeah, but what I was going to say was that what I meant by income was that people are begging him for book deals and interviews and stuff like that, and a chunk of that money would go towards what he owes from the lawsuit.
Yeah,
that's what I meant.
Well, possibly, and I say possibly because we have the example of the book from several years ago called "If I Did It." O.J. Simpson tried to have a book published that was a semi-autobiography, semi-hypothetical recitation of events.
Wait, let's call it what it was. It was a confession.
Yeah. Well, that's I'm putting air quotes around the hypothetical recitation, but the if you can find a copy of the audiobook, which I have actually, I was morbidly curious enough to get it. You'll find out there's a preamble to the whole book where they tell the story, and by they I mean Ronald Goldman's family tells the story of how they fought to get the rights to that book to make sure he couldn't make any money off of it, because the way he had attempted to dodge because if he had made money off the book, yes, all that money would have to go to the judgment, but he did some crazy legal accounting acrobatics to try to put that book into the name of his children and an offshore account and all this other crazy stuff to avoid having to pay the Goldmans any money. So you're correct. If he did profit in any way off of anything other than retirement going forward, that money would have to be could be clawed back into the judgment. Yeah. Granted, he doesn't find a way around it. So,
well, I'm assuming that if he didn't before, I mean, from what I can tell, no court is in any hurry to cut him any slack.
Probably not, but at the same time, they can't rule against him just because he's a lousy person. So,
well, that's what they
I mean, but they could rule against him doing crazy shit to avoid the judgment.
Yeah, they did. I
mean,
that's
what I'm saying.
Yeah, in the case of the book, the Goldman family had to go to court and spend several years trying to fight to get any monies paid, and especially the bonus he was paid in lieu of the book being published and everything else. So it's possible, but it's not necessarily easy. So yeah.
But really, unless he, for some reason, wants just a shit ton more money, he's already getting $100,000 from the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And the Screen Actor Guild is going to be paying him a hefty sum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not hurting, which is
in other words, guys. OJ is still getting away with it.
Yeah, he's still getting away with it.
Asshole.
Yeah, by no means is he in any way punished by this. And it's really ridiculous. It just boggles the mind. And I don't know what else to say about it other than knowing him and knowing his attitude. Yeah, I mean, you said it today. Like, what do you think he's going to be arrested for next? Yeah. My guess, at minimum, it's going to be either a DUI or a felony possession of a gun by a felon possession of a firearm.
So what do we have right now? We have murder, kidnapping, and theft, right?
Murder, kidnapping, theft. I think assault with a deadly weapon, I think, was part of the because there was a gun charge along with his. I'm
trying to think if there's some he hasn't done yet that would be newsworthy.
Regicide. He hasn't assassinated a person of royalty.
True.
I mean, there's
so
still
watch out, English fuckers.
Yeah, or Swedish or Norse. I mean, there's still royalty out there that's not British.
Whatever happened to Kato Kalin?
He's still alive, I think. Let's see what's going on with Kato.
I haven't seen him since basketball.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, well, there's a Washington Post story about Kato. Okay, and this came out today. You want to hear about Kato?
Yeah, what's going on with Kato?
Okay.
For those of you who don't know, when all of this went down with OJ's wife being murdered, Kato Kalin was living at OJ's house. He drove the Bronco too, didn't he?
I believe at one point or another to go get like McDonald's or something.
Yeah, the famous white Bronco. So, yeah, he was just kind of lounging around people's houses, and at the time he was lounging at OJ's house.
Yeah, and supposedly, depending on how you read the chain of events, Kato was awakened that night by a large slamming sound against the wall outside of his guest house that is believed to have been OJ sneaking back onto his property. Yes. As he like fell against the wall or something. But as far as
actually, Kato, real quick, they've already decided in a court case, in the same court case with the "If I Did It" book, that any attempts to it's pretty much been set as a precedent that anything that he does, like press wise or TV, book deals, whatever, goes to them.
Yeah. Like I say, fingers crossed that there's not something he tries to make profit on that he keeps hidden somehow. It's not to say that he's not liable for it. I'm just saying that I wouldn't put it past him to find a way to do it, to make an income from anything other than retirement in ways that are not directly tied to him or that he associates directly with his children somehow. That's all. But
Zeman said, Ranting Monkey, you actually remember that movie. Basketball was fucking amazing. That movie
was hilarious.
Was awesome. I still watch it probably once a month.
But anyway, as far as Kato, so this is the headline. Hours before O.J. Simpson's parole hearing, Kato Kalin is furious about the Brewers.
But what's...
O.J. Simpson will present his case for parole on Thursday. This was written before the hearing, obviously. But hours before the hearing, his celebrated former house guest, Kato Kalin, went ballistic. Kalin, the loopy blonde slacker dude who gained fame for his testimony during the trial in which Simpson was acquitted of the murder of his ex-wife and Ron Goldman, simply could not believe what he was seeing from his beloved Milwaukee Brewers. His former host is seeking parole after serving nearly 9 years of a sentence for armed robbery and other offenses, but baseball fired up Kalin for a Wednesday night Twitter rant as the Brewers, in first place in the National League Central, are on a 4-game losing streak, and the second-place Chicago Cubs have won 6 in a row. And they quote his Twitter, which, I mean, go follow Kato on Twitter if you want to. I mean, it's Kato _ Kalin.
I might do that just for the fun of it.
Yeah, and he looks like an older version of himself. I don't know what else to say.
He looked old back then.
Yeah, well, he looked a little bit sun-drenched, but he definitely has aged a bit. Let's see, what's he doing now? The 58-year-old Kalin, 58, Jesus, who became famous as the house guest who wouldn't leave during Simpson's murder trial, was born in Milwaukee, so he comes by his fandom honestly. Kalin recently landed a gig as a spokesperson for guesthouserent.com.
Oh, God. Oh, my
God. And now says he believes Simpson was guilty of the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. Quote, that's the crime he should have been put in prison for, the murders, he told the New York Daily News. Yeah. So, and then they have a link to the commercial he's done for guesthouserent.com. I'll put the link in the chat for people if they really want to see Cato. Yeah, that's what Cato's up to.
Fucking Cato Kalin.
Anyhow.
So OJ's free.
Yep.
And Linkin Park's looking for a frontman.
Yeah, which is that's pretty sad. I cannot claim that I didn't hate Linkin Park or anything, but I wasn't some huge fan that I owned the albums or anything. But still, it's just like, Chris Cornell killed himself, and I was a big Soundgarden fan growing up, and that was pretty sad. And this guy apparently hung himself. At least that's what it's saying. So anyway, the headline says, of course, Linkin Park singer Chester Bennington dead at 41. Chester Bennington, the lead singer of the rock band Linkin Park, was found dead Thursday, according to a spokesman for the LA County coroner. He was 41. The coroner's office was called out to a home in Palos Verdes Estates shortly after 9 a.m. Thursday. Authorities said they were treating the case as a possible suicide. Bennington's band found success in 2000 with their album Hybrid Theory, with Bennington's heartfelt vocals leading the way. That voice, it turned out, was fueled by anguish. Really? After listening to Crawling, would you think anything else? Anyway. Bennington was open about his troubled life, including an introduction to smoking pot after his parents' divorce when he was 11, which escalated to cocaine and methamphetamine use. He also suffered sexual abuse as a child, he said. Quote, when I was young, getting beaten up and pretty much raped was no fun, he told The Guardian in 2011. Quote, no one wants that to happen to you, and honestly, I don't remember when it started. Spotting a photo of himself as a child at his mother's house from around the time of the abuse brought it all back, Bennington recalled. Quote, I remember that stuff happening to me at that stage, and even thinking about it now makes me want to cry, he said. My God, no wonder I became a drug addict. No wonder I just went completely insane for a little while. The group enjoyed crossover success with the 2004 mashup Numb Encore, which combined their song Numb with rapper Jay-Z's Encore. The single was featured on a collaborative album, Collision Course, and won an award for Best Rap Sung Collaboration at the 2006 Grammy Awards. The news caused an outpouring of grief among celebrities, especially coming so soon on the heels of the death of Soundgarden frontman Chris Cornell, a close friend of Bennington's who committed suicide in May. Bennington had reportedly performed Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah at Cornell's memorial service. Let's see. Bennington's bandmate Mike Shinoda tweeted, shocked and heartbroken, but it's true. An official statement will come out as soon as we have one. And late night host Jimmy Kimmel wrote, quote, Chester was one of the kindest men I've had on my show. My heart breaks for his family and friends. He will be missed terribly. And then they quote a bunch of tweets on it. So, yeah. Oh, and their latest album was released in May called One More Light. And they were supposed to be starting a tour in Boston next week. Yep, pretty sad.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan. I didn't seek him out. I didn't turn him off. But suicide, god damn. It misses the whole point of life, guys.
And it just goes to show, it's one of those situations where I kind of think, it doesn't matter how much money you've got, doesn't matter how famous you are, doesn't matter how much you might be loved by people. If you've got inner demons and they're just overwhelming you, all the riches of the world do nothing against, devastating depression.
Yeah.
And anybody listening, I know this might sound like a platitude or something, but if you are suffering from depression, if you are in a place that is not proportionate to the reality around you and you know it, seek help. Talk to somebody. I cannot say enough how looking for help can help. I had my own problems. I found help for it, and I'm a million times better now than I was just a few years ago. So it is possible, but don't think that there's no hope, because there is but you have to be able to pick yourself up long enough to ask for it. That's all.
Sanguine's here.
Oh, good. Well, then this is a good time to see. I even printed this out. I actually have like a written out script for this ad. So
saying wallet on a chain.
You may have. I may have a wallet on a chain because I was pickpocketed a couple times when I was young and got paranoid ever since.
I'm only making that joke because you've told me that before.
Yeah, I'm really a biker. I just don't say anything about it. All right, Sanguine, here you go. I wrote this. I was talking to Monkey as I was writing this morning. I was like, God, I can't think of a title, but I found it. Okay. Oh, and just for everyone's edification, the ad request last night was to create a time-traveling murder mystery. All right. Scientist Michael Solis invented a time machine and has now returned from a trip to the past. But he's discovered that a murder took place 5 days before he departed. His own. Experience the time-bending mystery of a man who must race to solve his own murder before the forces of reality erase him from existence. Sanguine Productions presents Expiration Date.
Oh, God. What a day for that. What a timing for that. Holy shit.
I know, right?
Oh, my God. It was a good ad. It
yeah,
was.
And this was all before the news of the Linkin Park frontman came out and everything else. It's just, yeah, lousy timing, but hey, it wasn't intentional. So what are you going to do? Michael Solis? No, Solis. That's the random last name I came up with. But Solis is fine. If you want to take it like that kind of Solis, that's cool too.
Okay. And on that note, wow, timing is everything.
Yeah, I know.
Did we have another major story today? Did Trump do anything with the Russians?
Well, depending on who you're listening to, he's practically having sex with them now.
I don't blame him if it's that female lawyer that started all of this latest stuff with his son, because she was hot.
Let's see.
I'd have banged her and given away some state secrets.
The only Trump thing I have right now is CNN's current headline, which may just be more... Well, it probably is just more hyperbole, but I will read it just on the off chance it means something. And this is, this is an exclusive. This is a CNN exclusive. Exclusive. Jared Kushner's White House connection still being used to lure Chinese investors. Okay. Jared Kushner's status as a top aide to President Donald Trump was used to lure Chinese investors to his family's New Jersey development, even after his family's company apologized for mentioning his name during a sales pitch in May, CNN has found. References to Kushner are part of online promotions by two businesses that are working with Kushner Companies, I guess that's the name of the corporation, to find Chinese investors willing to invest in the One Journal Square development in exchange for a U.S. visa. The promotions are posted in Chinese and refer to Kushner Companies as, quote, real estate heavyweights, going on to mention, quote, the celebrity of the family is 30-something Mr. Perfect Jared Kushner, who once served as CEO of Kushner Companies. One posted online in May by the... One posted online... One what?
One something.
Yeah, one posted online in May by the company U.S. Immigration Fund, a private business based in Florida, also contains a reference to Kushner's appearance on the cover of December's Forbes magazine under the headline, "This Guy Got Trump Elected." The post was removed shortly after CNN contacted the company for comment. Okay, you're going to have to explain to me why this is bad.
Kelly Clay Wu in chat said, LOL, Russia isn't happening. Let's try China.
Yeah, well, I mean, the communists are everywhere. Okay, a former White House ethics expert tells CNN the EB-5 program already raises a potential government-backed quid pro quo, favorable immigration status in exchange for investment dollars. And he says any use of the president's son-in-law as a marketing tool is ethically unacceptable. Is it illegal? I hate that distinction, honestly. I really hate that there's that distinction, but it is a real thing. ethics is not necessarily, a lack of ethics is not necessarily illegal. Quote, what is not authorized is any arrangement where someone gets preference for their visa if they give money to a company that is controlled by the family of a United States government official. Okay. And unfortunately, says Painter, that implication was made in the selling efforts for this project. Painter is referring to an investment roadshow that Nicole Meyer attended in May in Beijing. Meyer, the sister of Jared Kushner, was speaking at an event in which she was trying to attract wealthy Chinese investors to the One Journal Square project. During the presentation, Meyer reminded investors of her brother's recent role in American politics. In 2008, my brother Jared Kushner joined the family company as CEO, adding he, quote, recently moved to Washington to join the administration. The comments coincided with a visual display which included a photograph of Trump. Okay. Meyer's comments led to strong criticism that the Kushner family was using Jared Kushner to attract investment dollars through the EB-5 program. The company quickly apologized, and separately, Jared Kushner's attorney released a statement saying Kushner had no knowledge of the promotion and was no longer involved financially in the One Journal Square project. Okay. Gary Friedland, a scholar in residence at New York University's Stern School of Business who has studied the program, said developers have found ways to manipulate census. I'm still waiting. I'm sorry, CNN. Okay, if you're pointing out
the point.
yeah. I mean, I understand this might be unethical, and I understand it might violate some guidelines or something. But there's nothing in here that says this broke the law. And again, I hate it when it comes down to that. I don't think people who when Hillary and the whole email thing, well, what she did was unethical, but not necessarily illegal. And that is a really bitter pill to swallow, but it is not untrue. So please find a law that was broken. Otherwise, you're just complaining about people doing shady things in business. And I'll tell you what, that's how business gets done. I hate to tell you. I mean, CNN, I hate to tell you this.
CNN knows.
I hate to tell you this, but business is shady. Okay. Anyway.
Before we get to potpourri, something was said in chat here that I want to address because racists really pissed me off today. And they weren't even around. It was just, I was on my porch, and if you saw my Twitter today, you know I took 2 photos from my porch and shared them on Twitter. And at one point, I was calling Grand Monkey over, and I do call her Monkey. And I stopped myself from saying, Monkey, get on the porch, because it was too close to Porch Monkey.
Oh, shit.
And, yeah, exactly. And I realized racists have ruined something that should be really cute. To have my little porch monkey running around would be actually really cute. And I was reminded of, oh God, what's the name of the movie? Clerks 2, when they're talking about the whole porch monkey thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, racists have ruined that for me. That should have been an awesome moment. And instead, I have to, be careful how I say it, because I don't want my granddaughter running around saying she's a porch monkey.
Well, it always makes me... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
We were going up the stairs today, and she started hanging off of the railing and said, "Look, I'm a monkey." And so I have to be careful what I say to this child.
Yeah.
No, sweetie, you're not black.
Well,
that
kind of thing always reminds me, and I mentioned this before, of what happened to Howard Cosell.
Yeah.
When he described a football player who happened to be black running down the field in a replay, and he described the guy's dexterity and how he moved across the field, like he was moving like a monkey or something to that effect. And that one comment basically killed Cosell's career, because he was suddenly maligned as a racist. The guy who supported Hank Aaron without question was suddenly a racist. It just boggles the mind.
But yeah, since the whole porch monkey thing came up in chat, I wanted to address that, because racists, go fuck yourselves. You ruined something that should have been cute for me.
Well, it's funny you should bring up that subject, because one of the potpourri stories kind of touches upon that. But SDA, are you ready for potpourri?
Yeah. Go.
Okay, we have Confederate Game of Thrones. Let's see. How about a $500,000 fraud? I guess. And lastly, school segregation.
The Game of Confederacy.
Okay. Yeah, I meant to read this yesterday, but I either forgot about it or ran out of time, one of the two. Game of Thrones creators announce new show set in a world where slavery still exists. With Game of Thrones wrapping up next year, it was only a matter of time before creators David Benioff and D.B. Weiss announced their next project, a highly anticipated one given their huge success on TV so far. On Wednesday, HBO confirmed that the pair will stay at the network to launch a new series called Confederate. Here's what it's about. Quote, the series takes place in an alternate timeline where the southern states have successfully seceded from the Union, giving rise to a nation in which slavery remains legal and has evolved into a modern institution, HBO said in a statement. The story follows a broad swath of characters on both sides of the Mason-Dixon demilitarized zone: freedom fighters, slave hunters, politicians, abolitionists, journalists, the executives of a slave-holding conglomerate, and the families of people in their thrall. While it is impossible to judge a show based on a log line within the first hour of its existence, it's 2017, current year, so HBO had to know that the reaction would be immediate on social media. And when you announce a show set in a world where slavery still exists, well, you're going to hear feedback pretty much instantaneously. Hunter Harris, whoever that is on Twitter, says, okay, well, in describing the slavery remains legal and has evolved into a modern institution, she says, okay, well, this is called the United States prison system, or did y'all not see the 13th film? Which is I believe that's the movie that claims that every 13 hours a black American or something is shot or killed or put into jail or something like that, which has been proven false. But anyway, and then somebody else says, give me the confidence of white showrunners telling HBO they want to write slavery fanfic. Okay. Confidential to HBO. Nobody on here thinks Confederate is a good idea. Can't wait for Confederate to get canceled before HBO even shoots the pilot, says someone else. And somebody else says, this is one of those ideas that could end up amazing or absolutely cringeworthy. Yeah, you're probably right. And so on. There were immediate comparisons to Amazon's The Man in the High Castle, an alternative history series that explores what happened if Hitler won World War II. No, it is a serialization of a Kurt Vonnegut novel. It's literature put onto TV, you know, like sometimes we do. Oh my God.
I have something from Teen Vogue that's sort of literature-y.
Ooh, do tell.
What's that?
Tommy, I can't pronounce her last name. Children of Blood and Bone. She's got a 7-figure deal for her trilogy, which includes a movie deal. And it's like her book is centered around another name I can't pronounce. I hope this comes with a pronunciation guide. A 17-year-old who hopes to bring magic back to a land called something African after a ruthless king took it away.
So Tomi Adeyeme's Children of Blood and Stone. Okay.
Yeah.
Say the last name again.
Adeyemi. Adeyemi.
Okay.
Adeyemi.
It's essentially like a YA fantasy novel series, a YA fantasy series that centers around African lore. And I would like Bay and I to read it. If she doesn't want to read it, that's fine. But I'm going to read it because I hope it's good because I find other cultures interesting. Teen Vogue is into it, so I'm not hopeful, but I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful because I think it's interesting. But something I was thinking about earlier is because I was reading through like some writing blogs that are like, make sure you do research if you're going to even touch POC. And I'm like, but if you were going to write about Europe, like say a particular part of Europe during a particular time period, you would have to do just as much research.
Yeah, if you wanted it to be accurate.
I don't know why they act like writing about the Chineses would make you do so much more research than writing about a particular part of Europe in like the Middle Ages, because they were all different.
You said Chinese is like Dobby Wood from Harry Potter. Just throwing that out there.
But even like different parts of what is now China would be totally different. And I don't know why people act like you have to do so much more research because if you're in like a certain part of the world. If you're doing anything historical, I mean, you have to read a lot. I don't know. So
the presumption is that white people are just not going to care enough to do it. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, but I just thought I'd bring it up. There's like a new like African-based fantasy YA series. So I don't like I said, I hope it's good. I like good stuff.
But the recommendation has you worried.
The Teen Vogue has me worried. I mean, because Teen Vogue published Lily and was like, this is good writing.
Indeed, yes.
So I'm a little worried.
I have to make a correction. I screwed up. I said Man in the High Castle was a Kurt Vonnegut novel. It was a Philip K. Dick novel. I got confuzzled. I apologize. But yeah, I mean, lore and mythology from other cultures can be really cool. Like, I don't know if Monkey remembers, this is kind of dated, but do you remember the Vampire the Masquerade supplement, Kindred of the Ebony Kingdom?
No.
Oh, they did a whole source book of this is how vampires evolved in Africa. And of course, there was the Kindred of the East whole separate game, which was based all around the Chinese lore and Japanese lore and all types of things like that. So it can be really cool, but then you get things like what happened with J.K. Rowling when she wrote that American Magic book, and she used Native American folklore. And you had people saying, oh, well, she can't write about that because she's white and isn't part of Native American culture. It's like, no, that's why it's called fiction. You can make up things. So,
well, that's actually a lot of what I do with the magic system I've developed. It's mostly made up. And that goes for the European stuff too. Like, it's all bullshit. So I'm an equal bullshit opportunist. I make everything up.
Let's see.
Anyway, I just since she's got like a 7-figure movie deal, movie and book deal, I thought I'd bring it up. I don't know. If the next Harry Potter.
Well, if E.L. James can make $1 billion and Stephanie Meyer can make $1 billion, then there's no accounting for taste in our culture right now. So I hope it's good too, because I hate somebody getting paid a bunch of money for mediocre work, and that's suddenly becoming something that is something to shoot for or to strive for. You know, let's strive for mediocrity because that'll get you a payday. Yeah. But anyway, I could go on and be bitter, but let's go back to potpourri. So we have a $500K salary fraud, and we have school segregation.
Freud.
What?
Fraud.
Freud.
Oh, okay.
See, this is why I have to. You yelled at me the other night because I told you what she meant, and this is why I do it, because sometimes you don't know.
No, I knew what she was saying. It's called melodrama. I just wanted to drag it out for a minute. Port foreman accused of faking.
Just an excuse.
I agree.
It's not. Port foreman accused of faking timesheets for $500K a year salary. A foreman at a major New Jersey container ship facility has been accused of getting coworkers to file fake timesheets so he could collect more than $500,000 a year, spending time on his yacht, traveling to Aruba, and going to movies instead of to work. Federal prosecutors contend Paul Moe Sr. failed to appear daily at the Port Elizabeth terminal. They say two co-conspirators recorded on timesheets he was there and entitled to overtime. They say from September 2015 to March 2017, he showed up as little as 8 hours a week. Jesus.
How did somebody think they can get away with that?
Mo is a 66-year-old member of the International Longshoresmen Association who lives in Atlantic Highlands. He was arrested on wire fraud charges Thursday. Mo's lawyer says he'll be vindicated. He calls the charges another sorry chapter in the history of management going after labor. 8 hours a week? Yeah, labor. Okay.
Oh.
Somebody else who's getting paid what they're not worth. Okay, and lastly, before we get to MSS News, teachers union chief, school choice rooted in segregation. Okay.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And this is Washington, D.C. I think it's Washington, D.C. Either that or it's Washington State. They don't. I love when they don't make that distinction. The head of one of the country's leading teachers unions charged Thursday that school choice, a key policy agenda of the Trump administration, is rooted in segregation and racism. Okay, Randy Weingarten, president of the American Federation of Teachers, excuse me, the nation's second largest teachers group, said that decades ago, school choice was used by officials in the South to resist desegregation. I don't even know what school choice is, so I'm curious to find out. Weingarten has been a fierce opponent of President Donald Trump's efforts to expand charter and private school voucher programs around the country. In her speech, she called Education Secretary Betsy DeVos a, quote, public school denier. Make no mistake, this use of privatization coupled with disinvestment are only slightly more polite cousins of segregation, Weingarten said. Okay. Weingarten cited the example of Prince Edward County, Virginia, which after the Supreme Court's Brown versus Board of Education decision in 1954, tried to bypass desegregation efforts by closing down every public school and opening private schools that were off limits to black children. Quote, and they did it using public money, she said. Decades ago, the term choice was used to cloak overt racism. I wonder if our head of the school knows that any institution taking federal money or public money is in violation of federal law if they do such a thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's not... I mean, school choice, at least in the Atlanta area, has been really good for a lot of our really impoverished communities, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, how it's individually carried out, it depends on the school district. So in some places, it's really good. In some places, it's a lot more complicated. But essentially, it just means that, like, parents can basically... So if you live in the slums and you live near the shittiest school ever, and a couple miles away, there's a better school, it means that people living in a certain area are not confined to one public school.
Right. Well,
to simplify it. So at the end of the day, what the idea is that you then can reallocate some of that funding and make the schools more equal so that people aren't flooding to a different school.
Yeah, but what she's just completely either unaware of or ignoring is that, yes, the Brown versus Board of Education decision in 1954 caused some places to shut down public schools in order to dodge desegregation. But the Education Amendments of 1972 make, like I say, if a school institution takes public money in any way, shape, or form, they are disallowed from discriminating on gender or race or anything. They can't. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, now if you have a completely private school that's privately funded and everything else, well, they can do whatever the hell they want, whether it's, PC or not. But she's off base, as far as I can tell. The comments prompted immediate criticism from school choice groups. Janine Allen, CEO of the Center for Education Reform, called for Weingarten's resignation. Allen said that comparing education reform advocates to racist and segregationists is, quote, not just ill-advised hyperbole, it is deeply offensive, highly inflammatory insult to all the parents and people of all races, backgrounds, and regions who have worked to bring options, opportunities, and reforms to an education system that has failed them for generations.
Thank you real quick. Thank you, Sanguine. So school choice is segregation, but Black-only safe spaces and events are progress. Who let idiots decide the labels? Well, you see,
point.
Power plus prejudice, etc., etc. Thank you, Based Mama. Also, hi, Based Mama. Why is it that wherever teachers' unions go, education suffers? Because then it's not about the education and it's not about the kids.
It's about the money.
Ugh, you scared me.
Money.
Welcome back.
Yeah, no. Yeah, sorry, Lady Monkey got home, so I had to stop and say hi to her real quick. But
that was almost like just me, like popping out from under the bed and being like, "Hey, what's up?" And you're like, "Ah, okay."
Did that happen to you a lot?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, it did. We have a midget who's also a stripper. You would like her, Monkey. Who's her.
Oh man. We have time for very, very little MSS news.
Okay, well, we'll just do a couple of stories here until the top of the hour, because that's when Weebo Jones is showing up. Yes.
Yes, she should be here at about 10 after or so.
Okay.
Again,
well, we won't go much further.
Entirely my mistake.
No, it's not the end of the world. Okay, so everybody in the chat, on any particular night, if you have news stories you'd like us to take a look at or read, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSSNews. Can't promise we'll get to all of them, but we'll definitely take a look. And our first story comes from Peterbilt Nation 379. The Other Peter. Other Peter has a Florida man story for us. Florida man shoots out tires of AT&T truck because it was parked in front of his house. And there's video.
Sorry.
And that's like, I'm not a gun expert, but that looks like a Dirty Harry gun he's shooting that car with.
Does that like fall under stand your ground?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. On Wednesday, Florida resident Jorge Jove, or if it's the other way of saying Joe or Hove, Jorge Hove, I don't know, clearly couldn't stomach the sight of an...
probably be like Have or something like that.
Sure. I'm a racist. What can I tell you? Clearly couldn't stomach the sight of an AT&T work truck parked out in front of his house. Naturally, police say, he retrieved a revolver and started shooting out the tires and engine because that will make the car leave his front of the house.
So it's not like they just pissed him off like bad work or something. It's just that the truck was there?
Apparently so. Hove.
What's wrong in Florida?
So Jove, whatever.
I mean, if it's Spanish, it's probably Jove.
Okay. Jove, a 64-year-old retired firefighter who lives in the city of Hialeah, was captured on video methodically shooting out all four corners of the unblinking truck. He moves around it calmly, reloading his gun several times, firing off at least 8 shots. Jove then walked to the second bucket truck and began shooting at the front of it, reloading the gun several times. Meanwhile, one of the AT&T workers could be heard calling police to report the shooting. As Taylor spoke to the dispatcher, Jove continued his attack on the trucks. Police confirmed that Jove was apparently, quote, upset that the trucks were parked in front of his driveway. No injuries were reported and charges are pending. His neighbors call him an impeccable man. Remarkably, the AT&T workers stood out in the open, filming Jove throughout the episode. Yeah.
Thank you, Falcon Millennial. My mother was a teacher and she hates the unions. Good for her. That seems a weird reason to just go out and start shooting.
Especially if you want them to go away, why would you shoot out the tires and the engine?
Yeah.
They're not going to go anywhere after that. Just saying.
That's
let's see.
All right.
Okay, this the headline gets me in this one. This one comes from staff reporter Colleen Bernier. I believe it is another Florida story. It looks like a Florida woman story, if that is a woman. Latest $1 million hoe arrested in Fort Pierce for prostitution. Oh my God. A Fort Pierce woman who introduced herself to an undercover officer as, quote, the $1 million hoe was arrested Tuesday night, according to an arrest report. Deborah Thomas, 49, approached a Fort Pierce police officer who was sitting in an unmarked car in a parking lot and asked if he wanted a date. Thomes then got into the car, I'll read it as it is written, referring herself as the $1 million hoe and offering a list of services for $40.
I'm sorry, the $1 million hoe is getting her $1,040,000 at a time?
I guess so. Quote, "You're the first one today," Thomes told the officer before lifting her dress and exposing herself.
Oh my God.
Now, I'm going to send the link of this story to the chat. I want everybody to take a look at the face of a $1 million hoe.
That lady garden's going to look like shit.
Yeah, you tell me what you think based on that face.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Dude was just a big fan of Richard Pryor and wanted to reenact a bit of classic stand-up gold, referring back to the last story.
Yeah. Look at that picture, monkey.
Hooker here.
Yeah, look at the $1 million hoe.
No, I don't think this is a good way. I'm. Why isn't that loading? Oh, dear God. Oh, she is unfortunate looking.
Now you should put that link in the description. We've had a lot of requests to put links to the stories we do in the description.
Yeah,
that one in particular, because of the picture, people are going to need that for reference. So I promote putting that in the description.
Man, I kind of want to see her lady garden to see if it's worth it though.
No, let's not.
Funky,
let's see.
You're gross.
What?
We did that one.
Okay, that's now in the description. Holy shit, that bitch is ugly.
Okay, and this one I saw the other day. Let's see if Washington Post decides to put me behind a paywall for clicking on it. Of course they do. All right, well then I will circumvent that because I'm smart. This one comes to us from the Chieftain of Gaul. Shock headline. Nearly half of liberals don't even like to be around Trump supporters. Well, color me surprised.
Yeah, no shit.
Liberals don't just hate President Trump. Lots of them don't even like the idea of being in the company of his supporters. That's the big takeaway from a new Pew Research Center survey, which is just the latest indicator of how remarkably tribal and partisan politics. Of our remarkably tribal and partisan politics. Sorry, I thought it said how, and I was like, is this a CNN moment? And when it, what?
Hi.
Oh,
I just say that I appeared.
There's a person here. I thought that was SDA. I was like, what? Who?
Aren't you early?
Got out early because we had a festival thing that we had finished planning out.
Okay, everybody, this is Weebo Jones.
Sorry.
Hello, Weebo Jones.
Hi.
No, that's okay. I was just reading a superfluous story about how liberals don't like people who aren't liberals. So there you go.
All right, fair enough.
And with that, too bad you didn't come in on the last story. The last story was so much better with the ugly $1 million hooker who's making her money $40 at a time.
With a face that could stop traffic.
Well, alrighty then.
And there's no reason she should even be making 40.
Yeah.
She could stop traffic because she was gorgeous, so she could stop traffic because she was like, no.
She's unfortunate looking.
Under a bridge.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
There should be 3 goats crossing the bridge above her.
All right.
To the people in the chat asking, this is Weebo Jones. If you haven't seen her channel, make sure you go check her out. She does great stuff.
Sorry,
you drinking
for
Tide
being late.
because you... Oh, no, you weren't late. This is my fault that you were late.
Oh, okay.
I already explained the whole time zone thing and how I fucked that up many times in my career, and I will do it again.
Gotcha.
But you've joined us just in time for YouTube time.
Yeah, YouTube time.
Yay!
All right. So what's YouTube time?
This is the part
where we talk about. Where we talk about our videos of the day, and then we talk about YouTube drama. So I'm going to start because I didn't do shit on YouTube today.
Yay!
Same.
Scribbles, you're next. We're going to do this in order of age.
Oh, yes, I guess that would be true. So let's see. Just before the stream, as I want to do, I posted a video because I like torturing people, I guess. Today's was another in the fourth in a series of fusion videos where they go over the story of someone who has been deported and try to hand wave the fact that being here illegally is a crime that somehow should not be punished. And when it is, especially to someone who has children here, that is somehow an even greater travesty of justice, which of course makes no sense. And this individual was here for 16 years, 8 of which were given a pass because it was under Obama's administration. And then, of course, Trump decided not to look the other way, and now he's being deported. And this is surprising. Why? I don't know, but Fusion likes to put out propaganda pieces saying that somehow breaking federal law isn't really a crime.
Oh, yeah, it's never a crime when it's somebody being in the country illegally.
Right. Aside from that,
sense to me.
Sorry, what?
That'll never make sense to me.
I just don't. And I had one of my viewers asked a question. They in response to the video, they said, I understand what you're saying here, but what do you think about children who are brought here illegally? And I say, young children, underage children, that's a really tough question. But in my opinion, if they are brought here illegally and they are underage and cannot fend for themselves and their parents are detected and they ruled to be deported, then the children should go with them. That was their responsibility to bring them here in the first place. They're under their care. And I really hate setting a precedent where, well, if I cross the border with a baby, then my baby will allow me to stay. Because using your children as a tool to circumvent the law is not something I'd want to encourage, nor would I want to encourage anybody taking the risk of crossing the border with young children in the first place. But aside from that, I am working on a Google Talk presentation where we have an expert tell us about microaggressions. And in a much longer project that'll take me a few days, a long presentation by a Canadian education specialist informing a audience of people how best to integrate social justice into their education work, which is all sorts of fun. So I got a lot on my plate right now.
I see that.
That is an abundance of things.
And I also have to plug, Saturday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. On my channel, I will be hosting I guess what you would call a roundtable discussion of several people, including Laura Bones and other people whose names I forget right now, and they're going to hate me for having forgotten their names. But anyway, all that'll be advertised, a roundtable discussion on BDSM. That'll be 1 p.m. Pacific time on my channel. My channel was selected because at present I have the largest audience for exposure of the conversation, which is fine by me. So look forward to that if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff.
And for those of you out there like me, that will be 4 o'clock Eastern time.
Yes.
SDA, what'd you do today?
I didn't put anything up, but obviously I'm still working on the Q&A video, and I'm reading a book for the book club with Bay thing. You guys know, if there's a video, it'll be up. I don't work on them ahead of time.
I feel you. I feel your pain. And finally, Weebo, did you do anything?
With regards to YouTube, yeah, I finished my script for my next video. I just got to film it at some point. It's a response to a Young Turks video.
Oh, I love 2IT responses.
Is it Chink? Is there a lot of Chink involved?
Oh, there's so much Chink. There's also so much Anna. And then a third person that I'm not familiar with, but I got familiar with.
Ooh, do you have a name, or can you say?
I feel like that would be giving it away, but if I can find it.
No, that's all right. All right. I just want to see if I have their trading card.
Oh, with their trading cards?
Yeah, my TYT trading cards. I got Chink, I got Anna, I got Mankiewicz. Oh man, I got the really rare Mankiewicz. I got like I got the Mankiewicz with a mullet.
Oh,
I know, right? Yeah.
It's a bad decision.
Yeah, the Mankiewicz mullet is a rare card.
Yeah. So apart from that, and also I have an interview coming, an interview video that's already been edited coming in from UTEP College Republicans, which I thought was interesting.
You interviewed him?
No, they interviewed me, and then they're going to send me another video. So, like, the whole video.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are they going to let you monetize it?
I think so.
Cool.
Actually, I should ask that.
Yeah.
Isaac will let you monetize it.
You probably should.
Oh, is this the group that you've worked with or that you talked to?
Yeah, they sent me to El Paso. Yeah.
Oh, right. Cool. Cool. Okay, now
They're
my
really
favorite
nice.
time. Drama time. And I want to start with SDA because I saw you were trying to start drama.
Yeah, I really want to get to 10,000 subs, so I'm thinking I'm just going to mud wrestle with Joy Sparkles.
Oh, yeah.
All you got to do is get
And
it wet and you'll have the mud. Sorry, that was wrong. Real quick, Lanny Stanfield, thank you so much. I know a lot of people personally who are immigrants. While I really like them personally, at the end of the day, if they are here illegally, they should leave. If I were in their country illegally, they wouldn't want me to stay. Exactly. If you were in Mexico illegally, they would throw your ass in jail.
Oh, wait, they already do that.
Yeah. So you're gonna start
you
a
know.
fight with Joy Sparkles?
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, just real quick, it was a joke on Twitter. Just want to, well, just for future reference, I don't want people to be like, oh my God, SDA is actually, no, calm down. I mean, if she wants to fight me, let's do it.
You should fight.
I'm down with that. Hey, I just want people to know that it's a joke. But I mean, if she wants to, I'll do it.
Well,
she doesn't fight so much as she makes like 800 passive-aggressive response videos to things.
Oh yeah, how do I get her to make 800 response videos about me?
Abused children.
No, that's a little too like no.
Out there.
She has standards.
That's a little too much. Like, I don't want to actually be evil. I just want Joy specifically to think that I'm evil. You know what I mean? It's like fake evil. Maybe I'll just abuse Joy. That's basically the same thing. She's a child.
Her fucking fans are crazy. Let me just throw that out there at you.
You should take audio from Daddy-O5 and put it over video of Joy Sparkle.
Oh,
and then
God.
but have you speaking the lines of Daddy-O5 and then putting like the kids screaming or whatever over video of her.
That might wrestle her jimmies enough to get us to fight.
No, I say just go with the 100 videos a day.
Specifically on Joy.
No, I would make them about Onision.
Oh God.
Hey, let's be honest here. That worked for her. In about 2 months, she got to over 10,000 subscribers. She got to over 20,000 just making Onision videos.
No, it worked for her. I'm just
up until she got like her channel screwed over.
She got it all back.
Oh, did she? I didn't hear that part.
Onision, I've got a couple videos on him, and he has put copyright claims on all of them.
Oh, yeah, I would challenge that.
And most of them, actually, they're both like under 500 videos, and I'm just like, why? Why are you manually doing this on videos that are a year old?
You mean 500 views?
Yeah, 500 views, they're a year old.
Okay.
I think he's just bored right now.
Well, I haven't done anything because obviously if I can't live stream, we're fucked. And I know that he wouldn't. No, he would like uphold the strikes.
If we couldn't live stream, you'd be fucked. You could still come on mine and Scribe's channel. We could make money.
Yay!
Yeah, no, I'd be fucked though, and I'm what matters. So
Indeed.
I know that.
We know how it works. Okay. Did you guys see any of the real drama today? Chrisiosity got banned from Twitter.
What? No way. Are you fucking kidding me? How? What happened?
Wait. Okay. And the reason is because Sargon reported her.
Sargon reported for what?
I didn't see the original tweet that made it happen, but apparently she was swearing at him.
Yeah.
And he reported it. And she got a temporary ban for it.
Nap, are you serious?
Now, is that hypocritical?
Yes and no. Sargon was trying to explain this to Kevin Logan, and I'm kind of with him on this, because he's saying, you know, this isn't my morality. This is the morality that's been pushed through Twitter, and she broke the rules, and I am just following the rules that you guys have been cheering for a long time.
Okay.
He's right about that.
He is. And
no, he's right. Yeah.
I'm kind of torn on this personally, because I do understand what he's saying, and I do think it's funny when people get burned by the shit that they want to happen.
Yeah.
Christiosity is the one who said that punching Richard Spencer was self-defense because fascists eventually cause horrible damage. So it's self-defense to sucker punch this man in the side of the head. So I kind of have a little bit of trouble feeling sorry for her getting bit by the rules of, you know, silencing people. On the other hand, I am a free speech advocate. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I like the point that Base Mama brought up in chat, where she said, look, Carl is tired of taking their shit, so he's using their tools against them. And I think that's an interesting point. I honestly think that you could argue at this point that a lot of that Christiosity group is harassing Sargon.
Oh, definitely.
I think you could say that. And harassment is a bad, you know, even with free speech. You know, you're free to talk about somebody, but at some point when you're just bombarding someone constantly, I think using their own tools against, it's kind of like when like you bop somebody in chat, it's like sit in the corner for 5 seconds.
If his argument is that they crossed the line in some fashion to where it was, you know, undeniably harassment, that's one thing. If he was doing it to make a point, I'm not certain that the point is worth essentially going against the principle, if you know what I mean. Like two wrongs don't make a right. I mean, so if he was doing it frivolously in the sense of making a joke or making a point simply to make a point rather than actually using the rules against real harassment, then again, I kind of bring up the whole, isn't that hypocritical, the whole idea of like, well, it's just words on a screen, it'll roll off my back. I mean, short of death threats or something, I don't see how it's harassment per se, or just not just words on a screen that Sargon would promote is not a crime per se.
Thank you, Sanguine. He's really big on rules for radicals. Here's where I stand on this. I think it's funny, but I think it's going to backfire. I think it's going to make the Kevin Logans, the Christie winners, it's going to make them worse. They're just going to double down on this shit, and more people who I don't think should be banned are going to end up banned from Twitter.
Right.
And the real Peter, thank you so much for the donation. No words went along with it.
Here's the thing. While I'm not necessarily completely supportive of that, I also get it from his perspective. If the issue is that they're harassing him, I really do get it. At the same time, too, if you're on Twitter, we're all on Twitter, and when we make our accounts, are like terms, condition, yeah, okay. And if you're breaking those terms and conditions, I mean, and now at this point, there's almost no excuse for getting banned on Twitter because, you know, we know what gets you banned.
Hey, now. I said somebody was as sensitive as a clit. I didn't think that would get me fucking banned.
Well, you didn't get banned. You got bopped.
I got bopped.
I feel so left out. I have yet to get banned or receive a strike.
Oh, I haven't had anything happen on Twitter. It's just, thank goodness, because I was Monkey's mouthpiece for a week. No, people were tweeting him and he was messaging me like, can you bitch at this person for me? And I was like, yeah, okay, what do you want me to say? And he was like, tell him that he's a bull. And I was like, all right, Monkey says.
Mega Monster in chat says freedom of speech is not something that applies to Twitter, right? You're right. It's a private company. You do have to abide by their rules. But as a staunch supporter of free speech, I do have trouble completely supporting Sargon on this. I get why he'd be like this. Christie and her little fucked up crew are fucking relentless. No matter what he says, they have something to respond. some fucked up thing to respond, and they're shitheads about it. So I get it, I do, but the whole free speech warrior in me has a little bit of a problem with it.
Yeah, I'm with him.
I don't entirely disagree. I kind of am on like the I don't care train.
The only issue I would have with someone being an asshole on Twitter or just any social media, to be honest, is if they were doxing somebody, because that's just crossing a line that I can't commend at all.
Well, a line also that gets crossed, and this came up when people asked me about if I was going to contact Lily Mead directly. She's blocked me on Twitter, and if somebody has blocked you on a social media platform or any platform, that's a clear indication that they want you to leave them alone. And if you continue to try to contact somebody after they've blocked you, that is legally harassment, because they've said, go away, and you didn't do that, if that makes sense.
I've had one of those.
So, I mean, I don't think that Sargon's blocked anybody, obviously, because he could see that she was swearing at him and arguing with him, so.
Emperor Vulcan asked what happened with Bear today. I don't know.
With Irate Bear?
Yeah. I know he was a little irritated earlier, but that I know of, he didn't do anything. Thank you, your boy Pat. Like Wooly Bumblebee, they need that senpai notice from Sargon or they go crazy. Yeah. Yeah, true. So, Weebo.
Yeah.
Tell us about yourself.
Well, you guys already know I'm a police explorer. That's just where I came from right now.
What does a police explorer do? Do you get a gun?
A red man gun, but it's like a plastic hunk of just formed plastic into a gun. It doesn't shoot or it doesn't do anything. No, we do go to the range sometimes, but that's expensive because you got to buy the ammo for yourself. The post does not actually buy it for you, and it kind of sucks. But you do get to go on details. They give you radios, and that's my favorite thing because I get to do call signs at people and tell them to do stuff. Get to boss people around. It's my favorite thing to do.
Now, so, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, so what made you want to join the Gestapo?
So I was in forensic science class, and I was talking to my friend, and she's like, "Oh, so you're interested in police stuff?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I've always wanted to like do the whole investigating thing and then the interrogating thing. That's kind of why I'm in forensic science class right now." And she's like, "Oh, you should come to Police Explorers with me this week." And I'm like, "There's a thing called Police Explorers? Oh my god, I have to go." I got so excited, and it was the best thing ever, and it is still the best thing ever because I learned so much about myself as a person that can detect in police and stuff, but also about the police world. So, like, if you ever need some police advice, I got you.
Thank you, John Woodruff. I bet Sargon had an ache in his stomach as well, but after Anita, fuck them all. I understand. I do. I just, So are you thinking about becoming a cop now?
I'm thinking something to do with the FBI, maybe hostage negotiation, maybe cyber terrorism, maybe cybersecurity, something in that area. Because my one major is psychology, my other major is computer science. So I got to kind of like mix and mesh all of that stuff together.
It's gonna be like a awesome TV character.
I guess.
What year? You're what, 19?
Yeah.
So you've been to your first year of college?
Yep.
Lots of SJWs there?
Yes and no. I tend not to interact with a lot of people on a personal level. I kind of hold myself up in my room and play video games and read and do a lot of research and just work on stuff. And I don't go out of my room as often as I probably should for someone who's in college and needs a social life. But when I do, sometimes they have people walking around campus protesting and stuff. This is like maybe twice a semester, though. And they'll go into buildings and they'll just start chanting whatever. And then they'll come out and they'll walk around campus again and walk into buildings and do that. But other than that,
and maybe in class sometimes we interact, but it's not too extreme, which is nice.
Cryptic, a monkey a day keeps the SJW away. I don't know how much I keep them away.
I'm curious, with all your ride-alongs and everything, is there much discussion about the whole, I guess, tension between the public and the police because of the stories of shootings and things lately?
Yeah, we did. We've talked a lot about that actually, and my Police Explorer advisor has always emphasized the fact that as an officer, your job is always really super. What's the word I'm looking for? Stressful, because you're kind of in that crazy position of you're dealing with the worst of the people in the world, so you got to be careful, but at the same time, like, your safety is primary to you, because at the end of the day you want to go home to your family. So we talk about respectful use of force, but we also talk about the fact that these cops are people, right? And they're just like everyone else. They just have a uniform and a gun, and they're certified to shoot people if they're not obeying the law in a certain way, right? And we do talk about certain issues, like the Texas shooting, the one where they killed like 5 officers. That was a really traumatic thing for me to experience, because it made me almost not want to go into law enforcement, which was like my entire life up until that point. And it still is, but it gave me a little like cautionary hesitation.
Understandable. A couple of super chats. Thank you, Sanguine. Weebo, if you go FBI forensics, we might work together at some point. I'm going forensic pathology.
Oh,
and
cool.
John Woodruff says, just what I need in my life, another broad with a gun.
That's what I asked for my birthday this year, actually.
Oh, nice.
A broad with a gun?
A broad with a gun.
Hey, mud wrestling.
Do we have a deep topic?
You mean aside from police procedure and the stressors in society right now?
We can stay on that if you'd like to, because that's actually a good one.
Well, there was a case recently. I don't know. Did you hear about the case? I think it was in Seattle or Washington State somewhere, where there was a pregnant woman that had been shot by police. Do you remember? Did you hear about this story? Weebo, I mean.
Oh, sorry, me. The shooting in what?
I think it was Washington State, where like a pregnant woman was shot by the police.
I did not hear about that. No.
So, well, then for the sake of hypothetical, because this is I know high level details about this. So there was a woman who was known to police to have anger issues / mental problems. She had contact with the police previously. It was known that she could have outbursts because of mental issues. She was 8 months pregnant. The police show up. She snaps and lunges at one of the cops with a knife, and they immediately shoot her, kill her, and the baby. This story really bothered me. And now my father was a cop. I completely understand the officer safety, and you don't know what's going to happen and all that kind of thing. This story really bugged me because I was torn between the notion of, it was effectively a person who was out of their mind holding a hostage inside of her. And in a situation like that, I know it sounds maybe too extreme, but I would think that the officer would be bound to put their safety in front of protecting the innocent life. But in this instance, the immediate reflex reaction was to fire and kill the suspect, let's say. Given those circumstances, what do you think about that situation?
It's kind of one of those impossible situations where it's a young child is kind of taken hostage, right? But you also have your safety to think about. And in those scenarios, it's kind of frazzling to the mind. But you only have a few seconds to respond, right? So when it comes down to it, obviously, looking back on it, you would think, oh, I should have saved that child. But in the moment, you're only thinking about I'm gonna die. She's coming at me with a knife, right? So I gotta act quickly in order to incapacitate her and stop this from happening. And not all police officers have the amount of training that probably they should have that, you know, would help them and aid them. Like maybe, I don't know, a bit more than the couple weeks they get at the academy. But they have this training and they have this instinct to stay alive, and that's probably going to override any other instinct in the moment. Of course, afterwards they're probably going to feel super guilty about it because no one wants to see a kid die.
Right. Well, but, I guess that brings up the other question too. Do you think, from your exposure and experience and research, do you think that in general, and maybe you can only speak from local, but do you think in general that police training these days in America is adequate? And if not, do you think that there's some form or level of training elsewhere in the world that should be looked at as a better model for it?
Well, if I want to go to the extreme of model of training, I'd say train like Mossad. I'm just kidding. But that would be the ideal way to train your people. But yeah, it could definitely be done better. Granted, it's not universal across the board in every state, and certainly not in every police department. And plus, after you get out of the academy, there are different procedures for the certain PDs that you're at. So it's not universal across the board, which it makes it really confusing. But, you know, it also tacks onto the whole states' rights idea of, oh, well, this type of police work works for this type of environment, or this type of police work works for this type of environment. It all boils down to the environment that you're working with. So it definitely could be done better, but it have to be individualized to the area that you're in or what it is that you're dealing with the most.
Okay, and then one more. Don't mean to dominate the conversation per se, but
real quick before I do that, can I do a super chat?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Sweeper Steven. Just stopping in to show Monkey some love while I'm at work. Sorry, can't give more. Had to get new brakes on my truck.
Dude,
thank you. You know, I always hate when somebody says I can't give more. I appreciate everything. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, just showing up, guys. Seriously. So then, I guess the next sort of or the follow-up question would be, if you know of one, what is one area of police training that you would see as needing improvement?
How do I phrase this? The way that you interact as an officer, the way that you would interact with civilians definitely could use some improvement, because what it all boils down to, the reason that such accidents tend to happen is no one knows how to accurately de-escalate a situation in a way that, you know, de-escalates the situation. It seems like there's a proportion of cases individually of people getting hurt where the situation is escalated to the point of having to use brutal force, and that's on both sides, because both sides are equally stressed out with each other, but one person has to kind of step up and take the initiative to kind of make sure that the situation calms itself down, and it should be the officer. It should be the person with the gun and with the means to immediately end the situation. But you should that personal interpersonal communication with people in order to de-escalate a situation is very important. It's one of the prime skills, because you have to be interacting with people on that type of personal level. You're acting with people at their worst. You're acting with people who are having the worst day of their life probably, and you have to be kind of that counselor person, which is, it's very important that you are that counselor person and you're not that asshole on the street who's just doing it for the paycheck, right? You're doing it because you care about a community, not because you want a gun.
Yeah, I guess the common denominator I see in a lot of when these things are caught on video, not in every case, but in a lot of cases, the situation goes from 0 to gunfire. In some, and again, this is all just sort of, you know, from my subjective perspective, but from 0 to gunfire far too quickly.
You really think that a knife is 0?
I think that a knife in a gunfight is 0 to 60 there should have been one more step in there somewhere.
There are at close range, a knife is far more deadly than a gun.
That's true, but there are ways to actually disarm a person.
Oh, I understand that, but you're also going to get cut very badly.
Yeah, no, well, you know what? If you're in a situation where you've got a knife and a pregnant woman, I think, personally, I think you accept the fact that you are going to get cut, and you first try to disarm the woman before you shoot.
Yeah, in possibly lethal ways. Possibly,
but again, what is it that we have police officers for? To protect innocent life. At the end of the day, they're there with bulletproof vests on.
Innocent.
But
she's not innocent. The baby's not innocent.
I think she was talking about the woman.
Oh, okay, no, I'm talking about the baby. And in the example that I used, the baby is innocent. And even the person who's got the knife, their life should be preserved. It's not like, oh, because you pulled a knife, your life is now forfeit.
But it's not just a matter of the life being forfeit. I agree with SDA
knife.
here.
She's attacking someone with a knife.
Coming at them, yeah. And it's...
Yeah.
It's
I don't know if you know
quick.
this, but being like poked with a knife hurts.
Okay, there's no need to talk down to me like that now. What I'm saying is that a police officer's first reflex in a situation, I would hope, and granted, I am not saying that in every situation it's not justified. Okay, in that like I said before, and I said the time that it happened, that particular story really bugged me, because you have a woman, the police knew about her and her situation before they showed up. She was 8 months pregnant. Nothing else was available to them at all. No other thought, no other precaution was taken beforehand, nothing. It just, like I say, an unborn child getting killed because her mother was out of her mind just bugs the hell out of me. What can I tell you?
Donald the Repentless in chat, and he's been in chat with us a long time. He asked if we'd be willing to say happy birthday to his mom, Deanna. She's 76 today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Deanna.
And I'm going to have to do it again. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Deanna. Happy birthday to you. And I don't care if you like my singing. And we just had a super chat from Fireman. Thank you very much. Fireman 28231. I read all of the numbers because there's no other message with it. Thank you so much. Question time. We're gonna do question time. Are you cool doing questions with us?
Me? Yeah, totally. No worries.
The other two have to, because it's their job. Guys, this is the part of the show where we turn it over to you. Questions, comments, concerns. Now's the time. Weebo's here. If you have questions for her, don't be perverts or be perverts, but
I don't mind. I really don't mind. It's.
Oh, I've seen her streams. You can be perverts.
Is this the internet? What? Yeah.
You should
Trust
see
me,
her
I'm
streams.
used to it. The last one I did was about parents teaching their kids to masturbate. So yeah.
Weebo, what other games do you play?
I really like Skyrim, but I don't have it right now because the Skyrim that I was using, I borrowed from a guy at college, and he took it back right before college ended. So I need to go buy the one for the Xbox One.
Can we have a link to her channel? It's in the description now, guys. Thoughts on unarmed police in certain countries? Good luck. I don't know how you guys feel about that. That seems odd to me, but oh my God, we actually have a lot of shit coming through.
Do you guys like or read Eastern philosophy? That's interesting. I actually have read a lot of Buddhist works because I was in a Buddhism film class, and we focused a lot on Buddhist ideology, and it was very interesting to me because I just really like the concept of not needing anything and just being peaceful. At heart, I'm a pacifist. I know it doesn't seem like it because I have a knife fetish and I like guns, but yeah.
Are there trank darts that work instantly? From what I know, they take time to take effect. I have no idea if there are not.
I don't believe so.
Just curious, does free speech protect you standing outside someone's house on the other side of the street and yelling verbal abuse at them?
That would likely, you could probably call the cops and they get arrested for like disturbing the peace or something, or for stalking.
Yeah, the free speech part of it would still be would be protected as long as you're either in public, on a public space or your own space doing it. But there are a number of other laws you would be breaking.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the speech. It'd likely be like trespassing and stalking, more or less.
Thank you, Sanguine. You need specialty cut gear to be blade resistant. I guess we're talking about the knife thing again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Guys, I'm trying to read these. There's so much that came through. All of you in the stream, what's your favorite Goosebumps story? Do you actually have one?
Oh, I can't pick a favorite. I love them all. Oh. I remember reading those as a kid. I just had flashbacks. Oh.
Weebo Jones, where are you from? We're not doxing her, guys.
Midwest. That's all I'm going to say.
And the chat just jumped. I fucking hate when it does that.
Thoughts on Lauren Southern getting banned from Patreon? Why did she get banned from Patreon?
I don't know if they said yet or not. I saw that it happened. I think it's kind of shit unless she did something that was violating their policies. They seem to be cracking down on certain types of content. I don't want to say that that's exactly what they're doing, but it does kind of seem that way. Weebo Jones, what's your favorite type of food?
Pizza, and I really, really like steak.
Would you eat steak on a pizza?
If it were good.
Oh, okay. Well, gee, what kind of standards is that?
Yeah, no shit. Your opinions on the BBC asking men to take a pay cut because of the gender wage gap?
Oh, yeah, I read about that.
Fucking hell.
My wage gap.
Well, it's he for she. Men have to suffer, and so that women can advance artificially.
Fuck that. It's nonsense. The wage gap itself is nonsense. Unless they're purposefully paying their men more because they're men, then they shouldn't be asking them to do that.
SDA, did you hit 60,000 words? I hit 63,000 words today.
Yay!
Yay!
Congratulations. That's a lot.
Thank you. It's a lot of words. I only have about 20, 30,000, depending on how long everything is, more to go, which is like crazy.
Fucking chat jumped again. Do you think the skeptics have gotten popular enough that they should be careful about how they carry themselves like politicians? You'd want to avoid giving ammo to smear campaigns. Yes and no. I mean, once you hit a certain threshold, you certainly don't want to end up in your local paper because you were, jacking off in the toy section of Walmart.
Is that one of your Walmart stories?
That is one of my Walmart stories.
Oh, well, I can't wait for that compilation.
God, I got to do that stream.
Really
maybe we'll do that or something. But as far as how they carry themselves online, as long as they're staying within their, they're not doxing people. They're not doing anything illegal online. I have no problem with anything they do. I don't think they should change how they behave. You guys can answer too. I'm just throwing that out there.
Oh, I think it's good to be, I guess mindful. But then again, in my first public appearance, I said that people don't like Nazis because Hitler made the Jews take showers. So,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and it just kind of slipped. I was actually like on my best behavior, and my best behavior that happened. So I'm already fucked. But if you're not already fucked, watch out. Don't say things like that. I guess.
Yeah. Thoughts on the Onision Blair White debate? I did watch that last night, and what a shit show.
Yeah.
It was mostly Blair yelling at Onision to stop interrupting her, and him actually. I will give him credit. There were many times when he stopped talking, and then he would start talking, and she would fucking interrupt him.
Yeah, it was
just a shit show. If you enjoy that kind of stuff, which I do, it was funny, but
why wasn't there a moderator? That's my question.
How could you moderate those two going at each other? Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't know, but it was necessary. I feel.
Well, that what Monkey just described, where she's like, "Stop interrupting me," and then she interrupts him, is why I was neutral on who won. Because I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't think there was really a winner there. I think she actually succeeded in making Onision look better than I've ever seen him look. But it was mostly
Did they have a topic? Did they have like something they were discussing, or they were just like we're confronting each other?
Yeah, Onision was listing off questions he had for her, I think.
Okay.
There was a couple of things. There's the Blair White. Blair White was the first one to highlight the fact that on his message board where he gets people to send their pictures so he can judge whether or not they're fat, he had like 12-year-olds.
Okay.
Had one at least. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. And this was like 8 months ago. Onision's channel has been kind of dying. If you watch his views, they are way the fuck down. So he's dredging up old shit with everybody. It's also why he's doing things like hitting SDA's videos. He is looking for attention.
And money.
Yes. And there was also apparently Blair White retweeted a picture that somebody had drawn of Blair White butt fucking Onision.
I saw that.
I didn't get to see it. I would love to. But
sure, we can find it.
Oh, please. He kept claiming that it was rape, and she's going, it's not rape, it's consensual.
Well, so, it's a picture, so I mean, like,
yeah, it's a drawing. She didn't actually rape the dude. But that's the crux of the debate.
The debate.
Mega Monster asks, do you think that skeptics live stream too much?
Yes.
I feel like
no.
Oh.
We got to do this 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Nobody can do with the angry MGTOW route and just break everything up.
Oh,
yeah, do it. Yeah, 10-minute segments.
And 10-minute segments. Can you imagine that every night?
Barf.
6 videos a night.
It's like we're switching between our 3 channels every 15 minutes.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Every night, it's just like, okay, guys, it's going to be channel crawl. So we're starting here. We're going to be there in 15 minutes. Let's go.
Mega Monster went on to say, I feel like a lot of drama could be avoided if certain things like that V thing with skeptic feminist or crazy hair were private. I think sometimes people take things private or public that should be private. Yeah. The crazy hair thing is an excellent example. There was no reason to air that dirty laundry and just beat her down the way they did. Not publicly. If they wanted to talk about that in private, sure. Because it was creepy. I have no problem saying that. But the way they treated her, it was like the cool high school kids were making a example of the nerd who snuck into their party, and it looked really bad to me. So I think they do bring up way too much private shit, but I don't think anybody's really. I don't want to say anybody's live streaming too much because it's fun. It's enjoyable, and as long as you're putting out good content, I have no problem with it. Let's see. Scrolling. Some Dumb American, it's kind of along the same lines, but what's the deal with co-authorship? How does it generally work as far as payments and rights and stuff? Are you thinking about a co-authorship?
Not for this. I mean, Bay and I have talked about it before, but I will answer that in my Q&A video. I told Phobos that he could ask me, could ask me questions, and I'll write that down. And I do have that written down. So I'll make sure I get that into the video. And if you guys want questions in the writing Q&A video, go ahead and put them in chat and I'll copy them down. Some of them might be redundant, so I might not copy your exact question down, but okay. He. Phobos is a he. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Do you have a time frame on that video?
Depending on how many questions I get today, either tomorrow or the next day.
Cool. Is it mansplaining if a tranny does it? Ooh. Scribbles, is it mansplaining if a tranny does it?
Do they look like a man?
He looking like a man.
Okay, if you can pass, then sure. Yes, it's mansplaining. You've earned that. You've earned that. Yeah.
If you look like one, then yes.
If you put in the effort, then yes. It's all about meritocracy.
Weebo Jones, do you think Assassin's Creed needs to make a game centered around ninjas?
I answered that in the chat, but I'm going to say it out loud. It would be interesting, and I could imagine myself playing it.
I mean, I myself, as a avid Assassin's Creed fan, would be really excited for that.
I was going to ask your opinion. I'm glad you answered.
I'm sorry. Like, I immediately, when I heard ninjas, I was like, yeah, we should do it with ninjas. Of course.
Who do you have a higher opinion of, Steve Shives or Onision?
Ooh, Onision. I think Onision still has his balls, so.
Okay.
Monkey?
I would say I have a higher opinion. God damn, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
Falcon Millennial, did I miss your super chat? If I did, let me read the last one you sent. Thank you so much. FYI, the shoot him in the legs thing is the shoot him in the legs is bullshit. That's the last one I saw. And thank you. And I am sorry if I missed that. I'm trying, guys. I'm so sorry. I hate when I miss super chats because it's so awesome that you guys even watch. To think that you can throw money at us too is amazing. Oh, Nision or Steve Shives. Fuck.
If I were to pick either one of them, I would pick them for different reasons.
Yeah, I think they're equally shit for different reasons.
Yeah. Give me a third option.
I mean, at least Onision's easy to look at.
That is true.
As long as he has his makeup on.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise he's not. But when he has his makeup on, he's pretty.
Did you see how quick he went back to his makeup? He stopped wearing it for a while, and I'm not saying I was the reason, but I want to throw out that I was probably the reason.
I'm not saying I was the reason, but
well, I made the video pointing out that he's lying by wearing makeup. By his standard, the standard he uses,
right,
then wearing makeup is lying. And very soon after I made that, he stopped wearing makeup for a couple of weeks until he realized how shitty he looks. And it's not his fault that he has the facial crap, but again, it's his logic, not mine.
He's so obsessed with people being fake, though. It's just.
Oh, yeah.
I think that might be like
projection.
Internal issue.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What else we got? Guys, questions. Remember, we have a guest here. Annoy them.
Some internal issues that he has. I don't know. I feel like the grammar felt weird coming out of my face.
Grammar felt weird coming out of my face. But I don't like pretty men, says Uzi Q. Is that something women like have a thing with, pretty men?
I like pretty men.
Okay.
I mean, like, I don't want to do the butterscotch dance with all of them, but pretty men are pretty.
Still nice to look at, even if they kind of got girly features.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but that's just like an aesthetic thing.
Weebo, do you like anime? I know you get this a lot because you went with the name Weebo.
I'm kind of starting to regret the name choice, but I've never watched anime in my life, and I should probably start, to be honest. The closest I've ever come was the original Teen Titans series, because it was based off of an anime. I do know that. But since it was not produced in Japan, I cannot say that I've ever watched an anime in my life, which makes me sad.
Yeah, for the record, guys, her name is Weebo, not Weeaboo.
Oh, I've gotten that so many times. Mr. Repsian has made that mistake. So has Miss Misa.
Yeah.
Oh.
Base Mama said, sorry, we like Weebo. She's cute and seems sweet. Yeah, you should. Some of the stuff she says on her streams is sweet. Girl's dirty. Let me put it this way. I was in her chat for one of them, and I was horrible. I was fucking horrible. And she did not shy away from a single fucking question I asked. Renting Monkey, is Generation Z actually more conservative, or all of those studies not concrete enough yet? I'd hate to get my hopes up. From what I've seen, yeah, they're tending to be more conservative than the millennials. I can't say that's for certain. We'll have to wait until they can start voting to see for real, but it certainly seems that way. SDA, would you explain the butterscotch dance? Inquisitor was questioning that.
The butterscotch dance is Hi, I think I'm real came up with it, and he's like my favorite person right now besides Bae because of that. The butterscotch dance is doing the sex. He came up with it to go along with Snoochie-Doodles and Smush Cookies.
Weebo?
Yeah.
What is your favorite breakfast cereal?
Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Pieces?
Reese's Puffs.
There you go. That's a little different.
Reese's Monkeys.
Would you rather own a hot air balloon or a giant hamster ball?
Giant hamster ball.
Yeah, less maintenance.
I'd say giant hamster ball because they don't go up in the air, and I'm afraid of heights.
Oh.
Aw, that's so cute.
Our monkey doesn't climb trees.
No, I have a severe. I'm claustrophobic and afraid of heights. Those are my two fears.
That's adorable.
How's that adorable?
I don't know. It's cute.
The cool part about it is we used to be able to climb up on our roof really easily, and I would go up to the second story and stand with my feet right at the edge and just look over, and I would get almost the same feeling as like riding a roller coaster, and it was like such a rush. Probably dangerous as fuck, but such a rush. It was really cool. The X Fireball. That's a good question. Is $1,000 a good price range to build a PC, or should I shoot for $750? It depends on how good of a computer you want.
I'm in that same predicament right now.
I built mine. It was about $750 for everything, including Windows for the operating system. You can do it that way, but my system is kind of bottlenecked because I went with an i3 processor. If you're willing to spend the money for the upgraded motherboard and processor, the $1,000 would get you a much better computer than mine, but I'm not using mine for many things at once. God, I should do this in a nerd video.
Yeah, you should.
What bottlenecking is, I have a very fast video card, and if you're going to be doing multiple things at one time, you're going to want something better than the i3. You're going to want the i5 or the i7, or if you can afford it when it comes out, the i9. That'll free you up to be able to do many things at once, where I'm either playing a video game or rendering a video, and I didn't need to worry about bottlenecking. For all of those of you who just went, huh? I'm sorry.
English?
Yeah, it's nerd talk.
I'm really upset that I understood everything that you said.
You did? I'm impressed you did. That's cool.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm going to have to go watch a Barbie movie or something to get my girl card back.
And Barbie Rapunzel.
I love the Barbie movies are genuinely good. I love them.
Okay, before we get to girl movies, one second. Let me get the super chat out of the way. Thank you so much, Falcon Millennial. Helicopter or airplane? There is a right answer. If I had to, I'd go helicopter
just to piss you off.
Airplane. I want my pilot's license so bad.
Scribe. I almost called you Scotch. Fuck.
What?
I'm sorry.
Helicopter or plane? James Bond transforming submersible car.
That works.
I feel like it's a little bit of a cop-out answer.
Some of the Barbie movies are okay.
Barf.
I think they're good.
Princess and the Pauper one also. That's my other favorite.
Yeah, that one's really good. The music in that one's good too.
I know every word to those songs.
Oh, I do too. I do too.
Mostly because I have a little sister, but also because we didn't have very many movies growing up.
Oh, no, I just know every word of those songs because I still watch them. I have no excuse. I have no younger siblings. I just have a problem. I like Rapunzel. I liked Swan Lake growing up, but I find that one kind of boring now. I still like the Magic of Pegasus one.
Well, that was good too.
That one's probably the prettiest. Like,
It
just
is.
the art. There's all sorts of clouds. It's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Scribe Light, this was specifically for you. Tacos or burritos?
Burritos.
Cheese quesadilla.
I'm tacos as well. Falcon Millennial, thank you. When you can get A46 through 48 Cessna 140, we should talk. I'm assuming that's for you, Weebo, because you said you wanted your pilot's license.
Yeah.
I try to stay out of airplanes.
Well, see, my family's got some friends who have their pilot's license, who have their own plane, and it's actually really nice because you can get places a lot faster for a lot cheaper than if you say were to buy a plane ticket or if you were to, use your car. And me and my cousin, we both got our motorcycle license the same time, and so we're thinking that we're going to go down to Florida and qualify for a pilot's license and do all that training and stuff, and then get them so that we can do what it is we need to do to travel, because we both love to travel a lot.
I don't know if you've been paying attention to our stream, but you want to be careful in Florida.
Yeah, no shit. Don't be an AT&T truck.
There's some weird shit going on down there. Why Florida? Why are you going to Florida for your pilot's license?
Because I have the best open. I think the guy that we talked to.
That's everywhere.
Not well, open sky, but like in terms of weather, it's a lot more consistent, I guess, from what I've been told.
Stay away from the
that's what you
Bermuda
need.
Triangle.
That too, but because of the consistent weather, you need a certain amount of hours in order to qualify. From what I've been told, I haven't looked too much into this because this was like a last summer thing, and I've been busy doing other stuff.
A couple of people asked. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
We had back-to-back questions asking how old you are. You're 19, correct?
Yeah.
She's also in a relationship, guys, so relax.
Yep.
Falcon Millennial, thank you. Get your contentional gear. They're better. Again, I have no idea what that reference is, but thank you so much. Is that something you understand?
No. But like I said, I haven't done as much research as I should have into it. I'm working on it. It's one of my after college escapades that I'm probably going to do. So it's a bit down the roads. I'm going to get my gun before I get my pilot's license. Let's just say that.
She's going to be shooting from an airplane. I do that in Grand Theft Auto. Oh,
Mike, are you scared of airplanes?
I don't like them. I will go on them, but I'm nervous the whole time.
You're adorable.
I don't.
Is it because of the heights?
Yeah. It's not the height that scares me. It's falling to the ground and becoming a splotch. I actually kind of like the height. Like, I love roller coasters, but that climb, that fucking kills me until you finally go down again.
I've never been on a roller coaster.
What? Are you afraid of heights?
Not. I mean, I don't want to fall off a building, so I have a reasonable trepidation near heights.
She's afraid of fun.
Okay.
I also it's also incredibly easy to get me motion sick.
Oh, okay.
I see a question that I really need to answer. Who's a better detective, Batman or Nightwing? Okay, since Batman's never actually been a legit detective and Nightwing actually works as a legit detective, I gotta say Nightwing because he actually has the qualifications, but technically Batman is the world's greatest detective. I gotta give him props.
So that was a biased answer. There's Nightwing in the background.
Yeah.
Well,
don't get her talking about Nightwing's ass. What kind of gun are you wanting to get, Weebo?
Okay, so I went shooting with my dad, right? He's got really nice guns. He's got a Walther PPK, so that's James Bond's gun.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, it's got such kickback, but it's so tiny and girly looking. I really want his Taurus because it looks like a Desert Eagle, but it doesn't have half the kickback that one does, which is good because I have a tiny frame and it would probably kill me. But, like, it shoots so well. But I also shot his rifle, and I'm really good with his rifle, and I kind of want a rifle as well. So I got some decisions to make, life choices, you know, the usual 19-year-old, 20-year-old teenage girl things to think about.
You're not going on a shooting spree, right? This isn't going to become evidence one day, is it?
Oh, no.
Okay.
If
I'm sure that's what Russian Deadpool would have said.
Oh.
Oh, darn.
Oh my God.
Wow.
See, like I said, with the whole, like, should we care about, you know, like politicians do? It's too late for me. Save yourselves.
Okay. There's some not Batman, I guess. Nightwing questions for you here. Where'd they go?
I got a Nightwing question for Weebo.
Sure, go ahead.
How jealous are you of Starfire?
So jealous.
I know, right?
Have you seen the most recent movies? Because they capitalize on that relationship.
Oh, they really lather it on, don't they?
Oh, I've been waiting for that for so long.
When he gives her the key to the apartment or whatever.
I cried.
Oh.
I don't get emotional very often, but when I do, it usually involves my OTP. They are my one true pairing.
Real quick, guys, we have 4 minutes left. Last call. If I've missed your question, please ask it again. And do it quick, because not too quick, because I can't read that fast. Who's more corrupt, Kim Jong-un or Hillary Clinton? Come on. Come on.
Yeah.
The Kim family wins that every time. And yes, Hillary is corrupt as shit, but come on.
Oh, I asked on Twitter who was more annoying, Logan Paul or Hitler.
Jesus.
Apparently Hitler's less annoying.
Real quick, our friend Bloodwing has a question. He says, will you all, including Weebo, help me get my appropriated culture back from those redneck revolt idiots?
Oh, I heard about that.
I don't know what that is.
So if you guys watch the Thinkery, Sargon's other channel, apparently it's like the liberal version of militia type rednecky shenanigans, but it's like the liberal version. But it's direct contradiction of itself.
So liberals with a bunch of guns?
Yes and no, I guess. The general gist I got of it was liberals with guns, but with dangerous ideas as well. More dangerous.
So liberal extremists with guns.
Sweet.
Sure.
What could go wrong there?
Yeah.
But they're
What
like
could
trying to
possibly go wrong.
They're trying to take back the whole redneck title as something to be.
We're gonna take back the redneck identity with guns.
I will get Porch Monkey back first. I swear to God. Oh, you weren't here for that, Weebo. I'm not making a racist joke there. Whoops.
It's totally fine.
Quill has asked a couple of times, and I'm sorry, I saw it and I missed it the first time. Have you guys seen Drunken Uncle's video on free-range parenting? The mother is still breastfeeding her 5-year-old. I know they say breastfeeding is best, but there's a time when it should stop.
Yeah, talk about
when they have
babying your
teeth.
child. Yeah.
It's when the children start to grow teeth. That's when you stop.
Oh my God.
Unless you like that sort of thing.
Oh. Ew!
Some
Right.
people do. Some people like it.
Disgusting human being. You are now officially weirder than Hank Green.
What? What?
My
I make a
boobs are
joke
cringe.
and I'm weirder than Hank Green. Like, Hank Green
Yes.
can't take a joke.
Oh, just call her Stoop Monkey. I like that. Stoop Monkey's good.
Monkey.
Stoop Monkey.
That funky monkey.
Okay, guys, we are coming up to the top of the hour. We're going to wrap this up here. Chat, thank you guys so much. All the donations, just for being here and watching. You guys are awesome. I can't believe you come out every night for this. You're amazing. Scribe, SDA, a pleasure as always. Thank you guys for being here. Weebo Jones, thank you for coming. And I am so sorry about the time mix-up. That was entirely my fault. And I'll have you on another time where we can actually do a whole thing.
Yeah, no problem.
But with that, guys, Weebo's giving us outro music.
So that's my alarm. It goes off at 10 o'clock every night.
Guys, your life makes me sad. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.